Tragedy, a disastrous event, especially one involving distressing loss or injury to life. A Superman on screen and off, Christopher Reeve will always be the definitive Man of Steel to an entire generation. He turned personal tragedy into public triumph after he was paralysed in a riding accident in 1995. He lobbied for the use of stem cell research, and his persistence and his courage won him the status of a real-life hero, not unlike his famous cinematic counterpart. Despite his theatre credentials and work on television, Christopher was a virtual unknown before he shot to superstardom in the 1978 blockbuster, Superman. The movie's producers were looking for an unknown actor to star in the title role alongside Marlon Brando and Gene Hackman.
Who are you?
A friend.
He screen tested for the role and was chosen from 200 candidates to become the big screen's flying comic strip hero. The film and its 3 sequels turned Christopher into a worldwide star and grossed over $300 million. He showed great charm and clumsiness as the bungling newsman who pines for his colleague Lois Lane. But it would become obvious in the years to follow that there was so much more to the man behind the red cape. On the 27th of May 1995, Christopher broke his neck when he was thrown from his horse during an equestrian competition in Culpeper, Virginia. An accomplished rider, he suffered multiple injuries, including 2 shattered neck vertebrae, confining him to a wheelchair for the rest of his life. Flown by helicopter to the University of Virginia Medical Center, doctors initially predicted that he would never have any feeling or movement below his neck. He endured months of therapy to allow him to breathe for longer periods without a respirator. In 2000, 5 years after the injury, he began to regain some motor functions. When his doctor asked him if there was anything new with his recovery, Christopher moved his left index finger on command. Despite his paralysis, Christopher pushed Congress for issues from expanded stem cell research to better insurance protection against catastrophic injury.
I'm very thrilled to be here. Of course, after it happened to me 2 years ago, I'm thrilled to be anywhere.
After the accident, Christopher became a strong advocate of spinal cord research and a tireless campaigner for the disabled. He returned to directing and developed The Brooke Ellison Story, a TV movie about the life of a quadriplegic girl and her family, a true story which resembled his own struggles and triumphs.
24 hours a day. I can't do this. Stop torturing me.
And you belong in this world.
Congratulations, you have been accepted to Harvard University.
He played a paralysed police officer in the movie Above Suspicion and starred in Rear Window, an update of the Hitchcock thriller about a man in a wheelchair who becomes convinced a neighbour has been murdered. The role won him a Screen Actors Guild Award.
Turn off the lights, turn off the lights.
Sorry. Are you okay?
Yes.
On October 10, 2004, Christopher passed away. He was being treated in hospital for a pressure wound, a common complication for people living with paralysis. The wound had become severely infected, and he died of heart failure. Tragedy struck again when in 2006, Christopher's wife Dana died of lung cancer, leaving behind their son Will. Remembered as much for his movie career as his dignity and courage, Christopher Reeve portrayed a hero in the movies and embodied one as an advocate for paralysis sufferers and was a superhero to the very end.